Hello, my good old captains and sailors and everyone else in between. Welcome back to the channel as Rosgrease Gaming, and we have another, I guess, video we have to talk about. Just at least this, we have to. Yes, we are late to the game, but I wanted to put a video out for this just because, well, it is the right thing to do in my eyes, and also, and just in general, with me being playing long enough, I can actually give a general consensus of what are the do's and don'ts with this clan season that came up. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Our clan, we're doing very, very well this season. We're going quite up there here in the Dash RNG clan. Hope you guys are doing good. We're just getting through the storm, so at least you can tell from us being up to storm, we know a thing or two what positioning we need to get ourselves into and what is the meta. So this season it's 7v7, and this time you have a choice of either pulling out a battleship or an aircraft carrier, which hint is something different of course, but also something that a lot of people are really hating because this is a different meta because of having now the choice. Unfortunately, folks, I have to be the bearer of bad news. It isn't a choice. It is a requirement to do something.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
So let's get into what I'm talking about. For destroyers, if you're going to pull a destroyer, unfortunately, it is the new meta of these new European destroyers are going to be the new ones. You want the Holland or the small end. Unfortunately, that is the new meta because they have fantastic anti-air of the Swedish Navy having all dual purpose and all main purpose Bofors means it's a floating anti-air ship. Raz, why would you say anti-air? Wouldn't you want something stealthy? Nope, unfortunately not. Because why am I talking about that? Because, folks, the meta is not battleship this season. It is, unfortunately, the aircraft carrier. So you got the choice of the Midway, the Hakuryu, or, if you're doing the British, you had the Audacious. I am going to be the person bearing of bad news that the only meta for these two is these three choices is the main cases is the Japanese Hakuryu. This aircraft carrier has definitely been showing its strides in this tier, in this gaming. It has been doing fantastic work handling out and battling against enemies this season. With its arm-piercing bombs and decent JN Type 91 Mod 7 torpedoes and all that stuff, this thing's been doing nasty damage. You're not using your rocket planes to do much, but if it does hit something, it's just added gravy, so to speak. But that is the meta this season for sure. Battleships have gone to the wayside and given it to these aircraft carriers. If any of you guys in your team doesn't have a Hakuryu, try to get them to get that as quick as they can and get very decent in it. Or better yet, if they love an Audacious, that's just as okay. Midway is third place, of course, unfortunately, because it doesn't have the overall damage like the other aircraft carriers. So because of it, it doesn't have much of a strong striking force compared to the Hakuryu and its attacks. So that means, what about cruisers? Well, you're going to be wanting something that's got good anti-air then. So what ships have good anti-air? Well, what we're looking at right now, Puerto Rico unfortunately does with me having a rating of 88 on the anti-air defense. There's also, of course, the painful small ends. Hello, it's a floating AA barge as well. There is the Worcester as well. Again, another anti-air barge. And if you're going for anything else and you have no other ships to play for anti-air, the Des Moines okay, or Salem to its equal aspects, but then it starts getting difficult to let you guys pick anything else. You could get away with, using the Hindenburg or using the Zhao, but unfortunately because Zhao doesn't have as high as anti-air because of its anti-air guns design compared to like a Worcester or a Puerto Rico or Smolensk, it has a hard tendency to keep up. Not to mention, these things have a very good way of like getting close together. That causes that meta to actually get really, really good. Now, gameplay-wise, if you guys are playing, most aspects, most teams you're seeing are pairing up with each other. Players will pair with each other in groups of 2 to 3 ships very close to each other. This allows AA support between ships respectively. If you guys have been playing, you've been noticing that very all too often, where ships are getting close to ships within like 1 ship distances to 1 square block in the minimap distance, at least respectively enough where the anti-air of both of them can chain up to do multiple damage to planes as quick as possible. Aircraft carriers definitely know what you need to be doing. You know how to single out multiple players. Go for those single players. Snuff them out as quick as you can. Allowing also spotting for the team. We also been seeing another ship. I did forget one more, and I just remember now. It is actually in the meta, even though it doesn't have that much anti-air defense. The tier 10 Venetia has been seeing itself very well this season. Not as a full attack force ship. It does have fair anti-air compared to many others, but not as good. But the reason why it's been doing so well and handling out well in this meta this season is because of that its SAP shells. Those SAP shells have been doing quite well. The semi-armor piercing at the 203 with the multiple guns it has and its fuel smoke just running away and well doing in kiting has caused this game to have this ship being very, very strong in its meta. Not to mention, if there is a small end or an enemy destroyer on the enemy team and you are going against a team with battleships and stuff, this ship has been taking out destroyers like it is nothing. And because of it, it has been doing very well in the meta and has been a strong fighting force in this game. So I wanted to point that out before we got any more crazy into this. But I think that's pretty much all of what I need to say. Write in the comments down below, folks, if you have any other suggestions or anything else. But I know that this seems a little late, but I wanted to point it out real quick because actually this is serious. You guys want to always get very good in clan battles and try to get yourselves in a pretty high amount. And this gives you at least a rough representation of what you're seeing out there. If you guys are having trouble, this might help you out know what your really strong suits are going to be. And it might really help you out if you're really having a struggle communication-wise, what really we should be going for and what you should be striving for. But that pretty much would wrap this up in a nice bow. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it was quick, but we needed to address this and the elephant in the room about it. As always, folks, take care and hope to see you all on the high seas.